Hey, thank you so much, Kayla, and thank you to everyone who joined today, who took some time out of your busy schedule. I don't take that for granted. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also want to thank Sheila for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to Living Vicky and those who are associated with it. I met Sheila, as a matter of fact, I was just telling Kayla that I met her, I don't even know how many years ago, but we crossed paths at Booz Allen Hamilton when we both worked for them. And I don't even remember how long that was, as my grandmother would say, many moons ago is when we met. But we're so grateful for social media that we've been able to stay in contact with each other. So she's just a joy. I'm just like really grateful to have her in my life because of who she is, first of all, and then because of the connections and resources. And she does it so well in building a community. So just wanted to give a huge shout out to Sheila for today. So before I get started with introducing myself, I wanted to just get an idea of who we have online. I see Michelle and Tanya, is that right? And maybe some others that have dialed in. So I see them. So I just want to take a poll really quickly as far as if you are in a corporate job. If you're in a corporate job, you can raise your hand. If you're in your 9 to 5, anyone in a 9 to 5? No? Okay. All right. And Tanya, are you in a 9 to 5 by chance?
Actually, I just work part-time. I'm a
Okay.
part-time
All
worker.
right. Okay. And what about entrepreneurship? Anyone in entrepreneurship? Michelle's
I am.
entrepreneurship. Okay. Go ahead, Tanya.
I am. I just started about 2 years ago in direct sales with two different companies, with anti-aging and wellness company and another in cosmetics.
Okay. Okay. And Michelle, what about you? What are you in, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the arts entertainment. I've been running my own entertainment company for about 18 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hmm.
you're going to be teaching next. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to get an idea of where we were in the room. And today we're going to be talking about, at least I'm going to see whether we can get through all of this, but we're going to be talking briefly about 3 career shifts that I think you need to make for career alignment and then even for business alignment. So I am going to attempt to share my screen and we'll run through this. Oh, Kayla, it says sharing screen is disabled, but if you cannot enable it, it's okay. I can run through without it. I just went to share screen at the bottom.
You can do an advanced setting, Kayla, and allow others to share the screen on your end.
And if you can't, don't worry about it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead because I know our time is limited and I want to run through really quickly 3 keys to career alignment. I'm going to try it one more time though and see whether it came through.
Yep, you can go ahead and do it now. You should be
Oh,
the
you can?
host, so you should be able to.
Okay. All right. Let me go here. Yay. Okay. Seems like it's working. You'll have to tell me if you can see it. All right. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. I'm going to put it in presentation mode, hopefully.
Yes, that looks great.
Okay. All right. How about now? Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Kayla, just if you see any comments or whatever that I don't see, just let me know.
Absolutely.
I don't mind you all interrupting me as I'm speaking. So just let me know, raise a hand or just pause, just say, Valerie, have a question, so forth and so on. So I want this to be interactive. So,
Perfect. Yeah, you got about 4 people on here now. A couple people jumped on too, so.
Oh, okay, good, good, good,
Yeah.
good. All right, that sounds great. Okay, so three keys to career alignment. I am your host today, Valerie Ashford Brown, and I am a coach, speaker, and workshop facilitator. And what I do for women in the coaching space is assist them in getting aligned with their goals and also align with what resonates with their soul. So I'm really passionate about operating in our purpose, whether it's in your business, whether it's volunteer work, whether it is even in the 9 to 5, because let's face it, everyone is not suited to work as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, so forth and so on. Some people really want to thrive in their 9 to 5. So I am big on alignment in the areas that you want to be aligned, and those areas, will line up with your goals. So today we're going to quickly talk about three keys to career alignment. So are you the woman who is spinning your wheels? You're too busy to think about anything. Basically, you don't have any time to think. You're frustrated about how disorganized or scattered you may feel. You could be unfulfilled, under-recognized, or even underpaid in your job. You may even be burnt out, frustrated, unhappy, or even feel stuck, and just ultimately need to take control of your life and get a hold of your full potential. If that happens to be you, and let me see if I can go back to see you all. Is that anyone raising their hands to say they feel like that? If so, you're in the right place. If you're ready to confidently boost your career, transition into work that you love doing. And like I said, that could be something in the 9 to 5. It could be in your 5 to 9. It could be however you want it to be. And then also, if you're in the right place, if you're ready to leverage your work experience and also your age, because I do work with a lot of women who are in a space now where they have raised their children, they have gone back to school, they have done a number of things, and now they're trying to figure out, okay, so how do I make all this work for me? How do I really decide what it is I want to be when I grow up? So if you find yourself in any of these areas, and even what I talked about previously on the previous slide, you're in the right place. So a little bit about me. I am a management consultant. By day, I still do that work, and I'm just blessed to be able to combine the two of being a consultant. And again, this is where I met Sheila as a managing consultant at Booz Allen Hamilton. So I'm able to combine that work with being a professional coach, because I do executive coaching, and that is where the career part falls in. Also an author and speaker. I just released a new book called Rise Up: 7 Principles to Release the Fear, Reignite Your Purpose, and Realize Your Dreams. And I can put the link in the chat later on. But I just released a book in February. I'm also a workshop facilitator, and I advise and serve as a mentor to high achieving women just like you, all of you who are on the line. And I'm a happily married mom of 2 world changers. I have a daughter who's getting ready to graduate from college. I cannot believe it. Time flies, but she's getting ready to graduate from college literally like in the next few days. Mid-May is when she's graduating. And then I have another daughter who will be graduating from college next year. So not sure if we have any moms on the line, but listen, if you have little ones, just know, take it from me that they grow up fast. Okay. Also, this was me not so long ago. It's probably you too, where you kind of leaning back, you had your book in your bed, you were just relaxing. That was me. And I was a rock star before I had kids. I went to a great college, I graduated, I landed an amazing job, and I traveled a little bit. I climbed that corporate ladder, got my master's degree, the company paid for it, had some certificates too, ran marathons. Anybody run a marathon? Anybody run a half marathon? Anybody a runner? You know how that is. You feel like a rock star when you finish running 26.2 miles. Bought a house, got married, volunteered like a real boss. And then according to me and according to the goals that I set out, I had everything in order. Now, fast forward, like I said, I had the 2 children. This is the girls when they were younger, like really babies. They're 14 months apart, by the way. And I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, like close to 15 years. And then later on, I relaunched back into corporate America. I wanted to feel like myself again. This is why I gave you all of that background, because I wanted to feel like myself again in my career. And when I relaunched back into corporate, although I thought it was what I wanted to do, it turned out to not be so much what I wanted it to be. And so what I had to do was really take that role and take that time and turn it into what I needed it to be. And that is how I got into coaching, because I began to have conversations with women just like you who were looking for something different. And I started coaching and didn't realize that it was such a thing, that is what I was doing. Is what they call the water cooler conversations, and you just talk with someone at lunch or whatever. So I began doing that, not even realizing that I was actually coaching. And then I fell in love with it. But I was searching, I was seeking, I was looking for purpose, and I did find it in coaching. So, wanted to be in alignment, growing my company. I do have a personal development company, Leading Edge Coaching and Consulting. And with that, I build a community of women similar to what Sheila has. I wanted to chase dreams with my husband. That's him there. And then raising the two girls, my girls, Ariel and Elena, they're now here. This is a picture of what they look like now. So as I said, they grow up fast. But I wanted to be in alignment. And I'm sure you all do too, want to be in alignment with your goals. So in that, imagine what your life would look like if you woke up energized, if you had enough time for work, your family, and yourself, if you set aside some daily practices that kept you grounded and fulfilled, if you were moving your life towards something that mattered to you. How do you think that would feel? Or can you imagine what your life would look like? And Kayla, do we have any comments there or anything? I don't think so, but just wanted to stop and pause right there.
I don't see any, but guys, you're welcome to jump in or message here. I said everybody's muted right now, but anybody that has a question or wants to raise their hand. Monica, maybe?
I was just gonna comment. I'm sorry. I'm doing this from my phone, so I can't see, like, I have to move the screen over some to like see the chat and everything. But
Oh, that's okay.
I just wanted to comment on that. I mean, that I think that was a great point that you made, waking up feeling energized about what you do for a living. And that's something that I'm really chasing and hoping that I can find. So it just sounds exciting, just knowing that people feel that way. So I'm hoping to find that myself.
Okay. Yeah, Monica, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. I mean, it really can happen. And I'm going to dig into at least one way that it can happen today. But yeah, it's possible to wake up energized and get that productivity and possibilities going for you. So yeah, thank you for that comment.
Sure.
So 3 steps to career alignment: power, productivity, and possibilities. And I don't know that we will get a chance to talk about all of it, but I definitely want to dig into number 1, which is the power. The power. Oh, I don't know if this is Monica or anyone else on the line, but do you find yourself hitting the snooze button over and over again, getting out of bed? Listen, let me be honest. Sometimes I even still do it right now just because there is, a lot going on in life. But do you ever find yourself hitting that snooze button? Do you feel foggy or sluggish, even after you had like maybe 3 or 4 cups of coffee? Anybody? Do you
Emily
hit
says
that?
yes, she's chatting. I would agree with
Yes.
that.
Okay.
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah. So maybe you hit that midday slump hard and you struggle to get your groove back. And maybe even you've fallen asleep on the couch with your laptop. Anybody do that, or just stumble to bed in the middle of the night? If so, you may be in a place where you are out of career alignment and you really need to get your power back, and also look at the possibilities and also productivity too. So I'm going to talk today about the first one, when you're not powered up. Let's go over that really quickly. You feel run down, you just flat out exhausted. It's like you're running on empty, you're short-tempered and cranky. And I know about that. When I am hungry, that's when I'm short-tempered and cranky too. And you may even be foggy or cloudy when you're not powered up. Another thing is, what does your power source do for you? Let's talk about that really quickly. Your power source keeps you grounded and clear. It rejuvenates and restores you. I love rejuvenation and restoring. I'm so big on self-care, and self-care is more than just a bubble bath. Maybe I can come back and talk more about that, because it's an entirely different topic in itself. But also, you give yourself a sense of joyfulness, and then when you're powered up, it lets you be fully present. And that's another discussion within itself too, about being fully present. But this is what happens when you're powered up. How do you get powered up? This is one of the first ways that we look at when we're making a career transition, and even being in a place where we are an entrepreneur. This is one of the first places that we start. And it is with, I'm going to start in the middle here with the mental, the mindset and self-care. Our mindset plays such a big role in how things work out for us. And people say positive thinking. I used to think it was a lot of positive thinking, which does play a big role, but I take it a step further and say it is more intentional thinking, about you being intentional about your thoughts. And I did some research, and I learned that we have about 35,000 different decisions to make on a daily basis. That's according to the Research Triangle Park out of North Carolina, the Raleigh-Durham Duke area, Duke University area. There's research that says we make about 35,000 decisions on a daily basis. We make about 6,000 to 7,000 decisions about what we're going to eat alone, right? When I saw that stat, that blew me away. I was like, really? That many decisions? I can't even fathom that in my brain. But it just goes to show you that what we think, our mental capacity, our mindset, all of that plays a big role in us being powered up. And it plays a big role in how we show up in our careers, in our businesses. It plays a big role in how successful we are in that, just from being in a good mental space. Also, we have the physical part with our sleep, our water, our food, and our movement. A whole nother topic about that as well. Sleep is so important. And I say, for those of you who are looking to make a pivot in your career, to make sure that you're getting sleep, make sure that you're taking care of your body, because when you're trying to transition to another career, another job, it is a job within itself. So, and then also the emotional part of that too, relationships and our spirituality. You have to keep yourself fully charged. And I'll take any questions or comment, Kayla. I'm not sure if you were leaning in to tell me something or not, but I'll take questions or comments here if we have any. If not, it's okay.
Okay, I don't see anything in the chat right now. Ladies, do you have anything? I think we're good. You can go ahead and keep going.
Okay. All right. So powering up physically, mentally, and emotionally, they play a holistic role in us being powered up. I want to go now into productivity. Monica was talking earlier about just the things that she wants to do. Productivity is a big part of us in making that career transition too. We talked about power, now productivity, a little bit about being intentional, and then also our integrity is a part of this as well. Setting clear intentions. I talked about the power of positive thinking, and I really think it is something to powerful or positive thinking, but it is more so, I believe, setting clear intentions. We have to be intentional with what we want to do as far as making choices about what we will and won't do. And what I found with my work with women is that a lot of times we focus on what we don't want, but I'm encouraging you today in this whole career transition and pivoting space that we are in, focus on what you want to do. And the way you can do that, you can simply take a piece of paper and just brainstorm. It's really easy. It's almost like you could even have a board or something. I have paper here in my office. I have this board. I should call it the paper that you can just flip off and you can put it on your wall, that board. So I have that, and I write down those things that I want to see happen in my life. I also have a vision board too that I look at, and it's in my room as well. And I have them from several years. And believe me, it does come true. A lot of things that I have on my vision board do come true, because I believe in that you have to see it before it actually happens. So I say you have to see it before you can see it. So that's one of the things, focusing on what you really want to do, and then prioritize. That's a part of it too. And remember that scheduling too, in this whole productivity piece, what you schedule really does get done. And again, another topic that we can talk about, because there's so much to it, but I put everything on the calendar, and I even color code my Google Calendar so that I will know the things that I need to get done. And then we execute with integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. Look at your results, assess those results, and don't be so hard on yourself. Celebrate those small wins, and make sure for those things that you did not do as well as you wanted to do them. Hey, just say, okay, so what will I do? What will I do the next time? What will I do the time where, let's say, if I did not meet the goal, let's say it could be a financial goal. Let's say with careers, you did not send out as many resumes, and we'll talk about this too, but I didn't send out as many resumes as I wanted to, or I did not make enough connections for this particular week. Assess that, and then go back and do better next time. So just don't beat yourself up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then again, here, make adjustments regularly to your routine. Okay, so going to go quickly here. What would it feel like? I am a woman on a mission too. Are you a woman on a mission to have clarity on your purpose? Do you want to have thriving relationships? In other words, you want to thrive and not just survive in this life? Do you want to reconnect with your dreams, redefine them, and really make them come true, realize them? And do you want to be doing the work you're meant to do? Yes, no, maybe so. Are you a woman on a mission? Well, here's the thing. When you're not living in possibility, this is the next P. You see the negative in every situation. You constantly question whether you'll stay stuck or not. You're wondering why you don't feel happy. And then you're not managing your current circumstances and not designing your future. And I want to encourage you today to live in possibilities, because what you have desired, you can actually get it. One way to do this, or several ways to do it, is to focus on the future, not on the past. Give yourself permission to dream. I think sometimes as we get older, we forget about that. We ask good questions. We can transform envy into inspiration. We can create an environment that works for us and adopt a growth mindset. So with that, I wanted to give you those 3 Ps really quickly. I stopped sharing the screen here, but does this resonate with anyone in making the transition that you want to see in your life, these changes that you want to see, and operating in your power, actually believing that what you want to take place can actually happen in your career, it can happen in your business? Do you see where you could be more productive? For instance, in the career transition, I tell my clients, and I didn't get a chance to go into this a lot, but I tell my clients that sometimes, you have to burn your resume, right? You burn your resume and get out and make relationships. We talked about that just a little bit. So it's about getting out and making sure that you form relationships and make actual connections. That's part of the whole power piece. Another part of it is, like I said, is the possibilities, believing in the possibilities, getting into alignment of where you want to be. I tell clients too that sometimes you have to take a look at those things that you did as a child, maybe even take a look at those things that you're drawn to. Let's say, for instance, I know we're not going many places now, but when you go to the bookstore, what section of the bookstore are you drawn to? Do you go into sections about personal development? Do you go into sections that may be on real estate? Whatever that thing is, start paying attention to the things that really light you up, okay? And begin making more relationships with people and getting to where you want to go. One of the things that I recommended for clients too is to set up a meeting for 11 minutes, like have that 11-minute coffee conversation. And when you tell someone, "Ooh, I want to meet with you for 11 minutes," they say, "Oh, 11 minutes?" And then you meet with them for 11 minutes and stick to it. So that's just a quick session on those 3 keys for career alignment. I wish we had more time, so I'm going to stop right there and take some questions and some comments. Let me know what you're thinking here. I see Emily says, "Love, pay attention to what lights you up." Yes, exactly. You really have to pay attention to that. And it's possible that you can make a go out of it. So go ahead, Kayla, were you going to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I just love where we're going and I don't want us to get cut short. So I just moved it to unlimited. So if there's anything else that you want to say, don't feel like we're
Oh,
on a time crunch, because I just love what you're doing. It seems like there's
okay.
people looking to interact and, making comments. So I don't want you to feel like you're on a time crunch. So,
Okay.
if people need to hop off, they can, but keep going because you're saying amazing things. So
Okay.
don't
Okay.
feel like you have to be cut short.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, because we do have some questions here. I see Emily asks, "What's your process for putting together a vision board?" Thank you for that question, Emily. So basically what I do step by step is I step into the dollar store, get that board, their dollar there. And then from there, I get all the materials together, like my magazines, I get my scissors, my glue stick, get all of that together. And then I also have, let's see here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera here. Um, let's see here. Can you all see that? Maybe?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of my simpler ones. But basically what I do is I have an idea in my head on what I want to put on the vision board. And then I write it down. For this one, I have it split up as in family, I have faith, and I also have fun and finances. So I split mine up into sections. And then from there, I began finding words and mantras of things that I want to put on the vision board. So for instance, let's say in the fun part, I find places that I want to travel. I think on this one I had Greece and I had Europe and just some other places on there. And then I had the cruise on there. So I really have in my mind what I want to add. I split it up into sections, and you could do it however you want to, but this is how I do it. Split into sections, and then I find those sayings or quotes and pictures to relate to that. I even put, for instance, with fitness, I have fitness on there too. And I will put like a picture of how I was back in the day, as they say, and we'll put, let's say, okay, I want to get back to a certain size. So I use that as a goal as well. But that's basically my process for putting the vision board together. And then after that, I have it on my wall so that I could see it on a daily basis, because again, you have to see it before you can see it. You really have to get that in your mind, that what you put on your board can come to pass. Yeah. And then Emily also says, "Love, pay attention to what lights you up." Yeah, absolutely. Because there is a lot in what we've done as a child, what we've done also, let's say when we were in college, even in grad school, and just now, even what you did 5 years ago, even 10 years ago. I tell women that when you are making a career transition, what you did 5 years ago, you may not want to do now. You, first of all, you're older, right? We're older than we were 5 years ago. Our desires, our passions have changed, right? And then also, you just may want to try something new. So look back at those things that you liked before. And as I said, if you go back in the bookstore, if you're on Amazon, pay attention to those little nuances that you really like go towards, and it will reveal a lot of things. Another thing too is paying attention to your core values. Your core values, I use the ones, excuse me, I use the ones here. I found some online, and maybe I'll drop that link here. It's by James Clear, his core values. He has a number of core values, and I'll find it really quickly for you and drop the link. But he has like an entire list, at least I think I can find it, of 50 common personal core values. I did find it. I'll drop it here for you all. And I use this list, see if it will copy and paste. There we go. Well, hold on. I use this list to look at core values, my core values, and then I operate accordingly, right? Because what happens with core values is that they really guide you in the way that you want to go. And then they guide you in the way that you don't want to go. So when a job opportunity comes up, when a business opportunity comes up that does not align with you, let's say in community, or let's say you have a core value of achievement. When you have identified those things that are important to you, then it's easier for you to find the job that you want, or find that entrepreneur venture that you want to leap into. So I do definitely believe in those core values. And let's see, Monica says, part of the reason I'm struggling to find the right career is because I'm indecisive, and I'm hoping to overcome that. Yes. So making decisions can be challenging, but I'm trying to improve by working on smaller daily decisions. Yeah, that's a good point, Monica. And I know as women, we have a lot of talents. I mean, raise your hand if you feel like you're multi-talented. That's what I want you to do. Raise your hand, right? So some people are going to raise like all hands, right? Because we are multi-talented. I just don't believe that we were created and just have like one thing. Now, it may be something like one thing that you do really well, but we are multi-talented individuals. And I believe a lot of times with that, we can do all that we want to do, but it may not be all at the same time. Like for us as women, I think we have seasons that we go through. We have that season where we may be single at one point, then we get married, and then we have children, and the children leave. And so when you're going through those things, you may not have time to do all that you want to do. So it's different seasons. So we go in and out of those. So you're exactly right about us having like a number of passions and desires, but you're doing the right thing, Monica, in by working on smaller daily decisions, because these small decisions that we call like the little decisions, they really lead to big actions. It's like when you take small steps and you keep taking those small steps, you can see and reap big rewards. I liken it to running a marathon. I ran one. I'm a one and only marathon runner. But when I was running, I did not start out with 26.2 miles. I started off small, the 3, the 4, the 5, and then you just build up. And the next thing you know, you've like eaten the entire frog, or you run the entire marathon. It's the same thing here in what you're doing, those smaller daily decisions. Also, what I would suggest too, in overcoming that indecisiveness, is looking at the looking at the positive and the negatives. And again, taking a sheet of paper and you're going down and looking at positive and negatives, and then pros and cons too about those decisions. And one way I have gotten over indecisiveness is when I make a decision, stick with it. Stick with that decision unless it's something catastrophic that's causing you not to do it. And then I try also, and my husband reminds me of this too, to stop living like a life of regrets, because I will sometimes make a decision like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. Well, you can do a lot of work up front, but then once you make decision, try sticking with it. But it's a whole lot more to that, in that we really have to find the time, I believe, to do like the inner work, inner purpose work, and I call it inner self-identity and inner identity dynamics, and finding out exactly which direction we want to go in. And it requires some research too. It also requires releasing the fear, because I think a lot of the indecisiveness too is because of fear. So I'll add that. Yeah.
That's
And
a
I
good
welcome your
point.
question. Go ahead, Monica.
Oh, sorry. I was just
No,
gonna say
you
that's a
can.
good point about the fear, because one thing I noticed about myself is that I'm scared to make the wrong decision because I fear like what could happen. And so as a result, I end up not making a decision, and it just kind of festers over time. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, and you know what? Fear actually paralyzes us. I mean, I'm sure you all have heard that it's false evidence appearing real. But what I've done, and I wrote about it in my book too, and what I've done is, for fear, I've done research. Okay, research on that thing that has me bound, because we're not to be bound with fear. Okay, so for instance, let me give you an example, and I really hate to use this example, but I am. I love to travel, but guess what? Your new girlfriend does not like to fly, right? So, how many places am I going to be going? You saw what I said I had on my vision board. I had Greece and I had Italy, all these places. So, how am I getting there if I don't like to fly, right? So, what I had to do was find out more information about flying. Like, for instance, when there's turbulence, I just freak out, like, okay, I'm going to die today. And that's not going to happen, right? So anyway, I encourage you to find out like what is really in the way and behind that fear. And then think about it like this. I mean, like, what's the worst case scenario? And then what's the best case scenario? Because when we live in a state of fear, we end up not living up to our fullest potential, because we're thinking about what would happen if it doesn't work out. Well, flip that coin. What's going to happen if it does work out, right? And so remember, I talked about positive thinking. Well, that's why I said focus more on intentional thinking, because we have to be intentional with those thoughts and really think about, okay, what's going to happen if this really does work out for me? I mean, like, how am I going to feel? And really get into that space where you're saying, okay, so when this change in job happens, when I get this $1 million contract, how am I going to feel? Okay, so I'm going to have joy, I'm going to have peace, I am going to be able to relax, I may be able to reach back to my community. Think about those things that would happen once you reach that goal, and stop focusing on what's going to happen if you don't make it. So, and let's see,
thank you.
Michelle says here, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hope that was helpful. Michelle says, I think decision making comes down to trust. Absolutely. As women, we are taught not to trust ourselves. Absolutely. And our intention, you're hitting on something here, Michelle. We don't trust our minds, our emotions, or our bodies. Exactly. We always look outside of ourselves to answers because we need that constant validation. Simple example, are you hungry? I don't know. Are you? Yes, that's exactly right, Michelle. And you know what? That reminds me too that we have an intuition. and we don't follow it a lot of times. I mean, we are built like so magnificently well, and we don't pay attention to ourselves. So you're spot on with that. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And I welcome other comments too. I wanted to share, I see someone asked for the link to the book, and I am going to give you that as well. And I wanted to also share with you all, since we have just a few more minutes, as we talked about dwelling in possibility, remember that, because you have a choice now. You know the three keys, although I went through them rather quickly, but you know them now. So you have a choice, and it's time for you to basically decide, what will you do with it? Will you really live in your power? Will you really live and be productive? Will you really live in possibilities as you unlock your full potential and have the life that you want? And I love alignment, because as we make the shift, as we make that shift of being in alignment with our goals and also with our souls, it's about believing in ourselves. And as I said, too, I didn't talk about this a whole lot, but for those of you who are trying to make a career transition, burning that resume, so to speak. I remember when I first met Sheila and I had my resume, I think it was maybe 2.5 pages. She was like, Valerie, listen, it needs to be a 1-page resume. So, so listen, I have progressed, and even said for some of the transitions that we need to make, it's actually burning that resume and really networking and building a community. So I wanted to leave you with that as well. So any other questions or comments?
Thank
And
you. Thank you for your time today.
You are quite welcome. I am going to post the link to the book and give that to you. 1 second. Let me just find that for you real quick. I usually have it here in the presentation, and I did not, but I certainly enjoyed working with you all today, and for you coming on. I'll also invite you to connect with me on social media. So let me just give you the link to the book really quickly. Sorry, I didn't have it right here, Kayla. I usually have it in my presentation.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to say, I don't know how much we missed or how much you were having to cut short of the presentation, but is there any way to share some of the notes just so that people can have that as well?
Yes, I can certainly do that. I can share. Yeah, I can share. Can I share after?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Notes or the
Okay.
presentation or whatever. I'm not sure. I can also maybe send out an email or a message to all of you guys on here with just a follow up from the notes and everything. But I mean, that presentation was so great. If there was a way to kind of just be able to go back and look at that, I think that would be super helpful as well.
Okay. That'd be good. And also, as I grab the link, hopefully it's going to come up here really quickly.
You're okay. We're
Oh,
not going to
Monica.
run out of time, so we're good.
Okay. All right. So I am going to post it here. This is the link to the book. And I wrote this book because of the clients that I work with. I mean, I worked with a number of them who really were trying to decide which direction to go in, and they were thinking that they were too old and it was too late for them. So I wrote it based upon the fears that I've had too, even with transitioning from corporate, and I'm still in the process of doing that. But even in like thinking about that and starting a business, I speak from like experience. I'm not telling you something of what I've heard. So I had the fears there of starting a company. I had the fears of thinking, okay, so what if it doesn't work out? I've had the fears of not being able to change jobs. And the last time that I changed jobs, I was able to increase my salary like over 50%. So that says a number of things. That's why I had in my presentation about being underpaid, because I realized I was underpaid, but I put my big girl boots on And I was able to get a salary increase just by simply believing that I had the skills and the knowledge and the expertise to work for another company, and then take it over to the entrepreneurial venture, just believing. I think it's so much in believing in ourselves that we can do what we want to do. And it's just like what Monica, I'm sorry, was it Michelle? What Michelle was saying about us trusting ourselves. So I just want to hone in on that point too, about you all believing in yourself, believing in that power that's already inside of you, because you have everything right now inside of you to succeed. Honestly, you don't need not another thing, because you have it right now. It's just a matter of you trusting yourself with it. And I'm also going to ask that you all connect with me. I'll put Instagram and Twitter I'll put this in the group, in the chat here. And here's my business page. And then LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And then when you connect, just tell me how we met, please. You can just say at the Living Vicky event if you like. So I'd appreciate staying in touch with you all as well. And I will give you one other place here, and you can go to my website. I'm going to drop that for you, so you can go there, and I also offer a freebie there, more on purpose and identity. So I'll give you that. I am revamping my site as I am working on a new coaching program that's coming up really soon, the Alignment Accelerator. So it's coming in June. So, but I'll drop that for you also. You can stay in contact.
Thank you. I'm excited to buy your book.
Yeah. Thank you all. Anything else? I welcome the conversation discussion. I love doing this. I'm not sure if it comes off like that, but I love talking about.
I can tell you have such a great presence, and you just sound so excited about what you're doing, and you're obviously in your passion. So it gets me and everybody else, I'm sure, excited.
You're welcome, Michelle. Thank you for joining, and best wishes to you with your business. So any other way that I can help you, just let me know. But thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, so that is all that I have for today. So this is really good. I appreciate everyone coming on.
Thank you so much, Valerie. We will be in touch soon.
Okay. All right. So have a good evening, everyone.
All righty.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.